How's it going, my Muffets? I hope you'll forgive me if I skip the whole preamble about Beast Wars being awesome and Kingdom recapturing the magic. We already know it at this point, no need to go over it again. Instead, I'm just gonna jump right in and explain how I feel about Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Deluxe Class Blackarachnia. Try saying that 3 times fast. So one thing that's kind of been bothering me lately is how modern Transformers handles their ladybots. Like, I don't have a problem with them existing or anything, but they do tend to follow one specific style. Very slender body types with slightly exaggerated girly proportions. And because of that, most of them ends up as like magnets for kibble, while the base figure is about as simple as a robot could get. Have you seen RC and Chromia and the countless other repays that could probably fill up their own toy line? After a while, it just kind of gives the impression that there's only one body type for female Transformers. I mean, is it any wonder why the likes of Clubber from Cyberverse was such a sleeper hit, even if she is basically a Rule 63 lug nut? I guess that's the big reason why I prefer the likes of Victorion and her Shatterglass-like Japanese counterpart Megatronia, because yes, the individual components are obviously feminized, but not to the point of looking like a pinup. The closest one that does is Rust Dust, but she still gets away with it because 1, she's a repainted groove, and 2, the figure just sucks regardless of the colors. Thus, when I heard that Blackarachnia was coming back into the limelight as a retail deluxe, there was one question on my mind. How do you take the Transformers textbook example of the over-the-top femme fatale design and turn that into a spider? The answer? You make the spider mode kind of shitty? You hate to say it, but Blackarachnia's Black Widow disguise barely even counts as an alt mode. Now, that's not to say that there isn't anything resembling a spider on display. Like, all 8 legs are accounted for, and she has the signature Black Widow Hourglass Power Ass. Insert your own Scarlett Johansson joke here. The legs themselves are on ball joints so you can adjust just how high her stance can go. And the face itself is pretty unsettling with how there isn't a line separating the head from the body, along those red painted eyes and not painted mandibles giving her an appropriate creepy crawly vibe. So initially, everything seems to be in order, but she's literally all right there. It's all barely concealed by this giant flap just covering up her robot mode legs, while everything else is held together by the gun and mostly hope. And then you come to the back where you see like another set of eyes along with scorpion pincers. And even looking at the size, the legs are doing nothing to continue the illusion of a spider aside from hair molding on the thighs. The instructions even remind you to fold up these knee spikes just so they don't get in the way of the parts holding the spider legs. And while I'm at it, I am kind of annoyed at just how fragile the spider mode feels. That's not to say I could easily break it if I just give it a good squeeze, just like a real spider. But like, once you remove the gun, there's basically zero friction holding the arms in place while also revealing the head like the world's shittest game of peekaboo. And coming back here is really easy to break the thorax apart and show this literally just a flap. There's basically nothing holding any of this together. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't asking for perfection or anything. I don't even hate the spider mode that much. But the amount of things to nitpick with this bloody thing has just got me a little bit mad. At the very least, this looks like it can still scare an arachnophobe and isn't just a robot lying down using sticks for legs. And it's still miles better than Transformers Prime Arachnid. Not a major milestone, but it's something. Anyways, Blackarachnia? Should it be maximize or terrorize? So the transformation is basically unfolding everything and then putting it all away somewhere else. And there is a bit of parts clashing, so be sure to spend a little bit of time figuring out where the hell everything goes. But once you get there, I'm not gonna lie, the robot mode is just hitting all the right vibes. Now, if you were just pulling the tangent, I think part of what made Blackarachnia so appealing to Transformers fans was the fact that she was a bad guy. A central bad guy, no less. I mean, this wasn't the days of G1RC, who just existed to be the obligatory girl character with obvious Princess Leia donut hair. Blackarachnia was just mean. She was evil, she was cunning, she was manipulative. She was the only female villain we had until Silverbolt came around and made her a good guy for the power of love. She was just such a good foil for idiots like Scorponok or schemers like Pterosaur. She even managed to do one over on Starscream, the actual least trustworthy character in all of Transformers. She mattered back then, as she certainly matters now. And it's for that reason that this robot mode just works really well. All that personality, that wit, and that charm all boiled down to its base elements and turned into a cool looking robot. I remember that rant from earlier about Hasbro just defaulting to the same sexy slender robo lady body frame. While it doesn't work for most of them, it's honestly a major highlight with Blackarachnia. I mean, more often than not, she was using her feminine wiles to get people to do things for her, whether it's blowing something up or trying to get info on the Maximals via Silverbolt incidentally. So seeing her latest plastic iteration kind of flaunt that part of her identity in this day and age makes me really happy. Like, Hasbro is just pinning down exactly everything we need to know about the character just through the design. But as for the actual figure herself, she does a great job capturing not just the character but also the design from the show. The color scheme is basically perfect with a black and gold contrast that for some reason makes me think of Sam Sparrow. And despite sharing a design with mad scientist Tarantula, she still has a look all of her own. Like, I love the spider eye illusion on the waist that gives the impression that her oboe just exploded outwards. And then you got the aforementioned scorpion pinchers that look like they only exist for mutant lane suckers. And then you go up to find the spider legs hanging off the arms like it's no hindrance at all. And if you want, you could spin them around to give them the whole whole machine gun spider look that she stole from tarantulas. Though because of the general shape of the legs, it does kind of look like she's about to grab someone in the deadliest snuggle session on the planet. And honestly, the arms are pretty much the only place with any actual kibble. Everything else just compacts nicely into this little backpack that would look silly if it wasn't show accurate. The head sculpt itself, though, is a bit indistinct. Like, all the details are there, like the head-encompassing helmet and the little hourglass logo on her forehead, but you can just barely tell that she even has lips, and I think I would have preferred red eyes instead of the show-accurate black. It just kind of makes her look a little dead inside, though I am glad they actually picked out the Predico logo in such immaculate detail, and the articulation is pretty standard overall. Like, she has it where it counts, like the ball-jointed head and the universal shoulder joints. You could cheat to give her both bicep and elbow swivel because the spider legs are on their own separate piece. No waist wiggle to speak of, but she makes up for it with great hip range and a swivel at the thigh. And then you got some really deep knees thanks to the transformation and your standard WFC ankle movement. Though be sure you put her on a smooth surface because those heel spurs are friggin' minuscule. Accessory wise then, she just comes with this weird Batman grappling hook thing that I've only ever seen her use as a regular gun. And the hands are shaped in such a way that she can just about hold it. And unlike Primal, she can at least do the whole fossilizer weaponizer thing, although it's just limited to just one hole each in the calf and one hole each in the bottom of the feet. But hey, this is me. Not caring. And that just about does it for Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Deluxe Class Blackarachnia. Iffy spider mode aside, this is still a great little deluxe toy. A lot of it will definitely hinge on whether or not you even like Blackarachnia, both in terms of design and character. But she still has a very unique charm as one of the few evil female Transformers that you can't help but respect. And if nothing else, you're still getting a fun figure with a ton of personality that isn't a repaint of a shitty looking car. So in other words, she's still better than Earthrise RC. So thanks to everyone for watching, sorry about the sudden pause in video production, but until next time, because there always will be one, this is Callum Lewis, the Media Hood, signing off.